Welcome to Season 2 of Why Your Business is Invisible Online. This season, we focus on the dramatic change artificial intelligence is having on your online visibility. Joining me are my two co-hosts, and here they are.
Hi, this is Jim Filatico. I'm currently obsessed with planning my next beach adventure for my whole family.
Hi, I'm Kelly Biggs. We're talking about AI this season. I'm wondering, can I get an AI agent to clean my house?
And I'm your host, John Manatis, still glued to my guitar, but with my new band planning our next tour. Okay, we're back. We're back for another episode on how AI is impacting your lives, and really excited about this one. This one is going to dive a little deeper into the pragmatic side of AI and what are we really doing with it. You're not really alone if AI still feels like a trend right now that you'll get to later. But the truth is, it's already being used by businesses just like yours to save time, to improve the client experience, and to close the gaps that your competitors are already jumping through. So some people have jumped in 2 feet first and are getting ahead on this front, and others are a little bit more trepidation. They're taking their time. They're doing some of the easier, lighter things on the AI front. So today, we're not really talking about AI someday. This whole season, I would say, is all about AI. AI
right yesterday.
Yesterday and right now. So
today and tomorrow.
I think we've done a good job of talking about the impact on getting found. Now it's about like actual practical, use cases. What are people really doing out there, and having a chat around that for you and letting you know where some of the opportunities truly lie. So that's what today's all about. So everybody's talking about AI. No one's really showing you what to do with it. When did you first see AI shift from this future thing into something you could actually use, on a day-to-day basis with your just general lives even?
For me, like everybody kept talking about Chat GPT dropped. You should really try it and see what happened. And that was in November of 23, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so I would say I started dating it a little bit. But for me, it wasn't until we went to our annual national conference for WSI. And in the team there, and this is one of the things that I love about being a franchisor of WSI, is they're really always leading edge. They were selling websites right when the internet was launched. They were talking about social media right when it became a thing. And to that end, they really started talking about AI. And at that point, it was really about AI in marketing. And so what marketing agencies were doing for AI. And when they kind of showed some of the things, the use cases to me, like here's what we're using it for, here's what others are using it for. And I think at that point, it's almost like if I don't figure this out, I could lose my entire book of business. And so I'd better figure it out. And so it's a little scary, but then also like I viewed it as kind of a big opportunity, but in a sense, and I think we came back and told you, John, like you got to figure, like this is the next big thing. Mm-hmm. But that's, for me, that was the day.
Yeah, I would agree. I think we both, because we were both at the convention, we went to the different breakouts that included all AI, and we had some really cool speakers. And it was interesting because just earlier in the year, we had changed our tagline to embrace digital, stay human. And so this was perfect for that. But yeah, I felt the same way, and it was scary. It was scary for me for sure, because it's like, a whole new thing to learn, and what's it going to do to us, and all those kind of things. And when something new comes out, of course you're going to freak out a little bit, and people are going to say it's going to be okay, but how do they know? Right? So it was kind of scary, but at the same time, it was something that we knew that could be helpful, and that we knew we could kind of, if we jumped in feet first and leaned into it, it would be a positive. And we've gone through all the training, and we've done all those things, and now we have certifications in AI. So it's definitely helped our agencies and helped our businesses, and now we feel a lot more comfortable, and we feel like we're able to really help our clients out because of what WSI did, jumping in feet first. So it's been cool.
Yeah, from my perspective, and you'll laugh at some of these examples, but I jumped in like right away, but it wasn't with anything serious. As soon as I saw that there was a tool like this, my curiosity was piqued right away. So at the time, I remember it's about a year or so ago, and I was with my band, and we were about to play our first gig in a while for all of us, and we needed a band name basically, and so just to have some fun, I threw in the songs on our playlist that we were going to play that night. And then I told AI to just look at all the band names, look at all their songs, look at all their lyrics as a guide, as a reference, and then take the mix of all that and come up with a cool name for our band. Unfortunately, it could probably do a better job today, but back then, ChatGPT was sort of in its infancy, and it sucked. The names were terrible, and I asked for like almost, I think it was almost 200 names. Not one made the list. They were so formal. It just didn't have any creativity. Now I know it's gotten a little better on that front, but I don't think it's still there yet. I think we're stuck. Coming up with band names even this year for this year's charity event for ourselves. But guys, I was using it for a lot of things. Like I needed to create an exercise routine for myself. I had an illness for a while, and I wanted to come out of it, but I didn't want to go nuts with some crazier exercises. I just wanted to do the right ones, and it came up with some great ideas. Even gave me some diagrams on how to execute the different exercises. And I was also doing hikes with a friend of mine, and after the hike, the best part was sort of grabbing breakfast. So wherever we would go, I would ask ChatGPT, tell me all the best breakfast places in the area. And that was great too. And the best one of all was when a friend of mine, his wife was having a major Secret Santa event, and he said, "Well, can you help me out with this? Like we're trying to figure out how to organize. I'm trying to also figure out what gifts to give. Here's some details." Threw it into ChatGPT, and it did an amazing job of that. It gave us a lot of creative ideas on how to run the event, and even
nice.
Yeah. So
did you have any rules? Because I found I did the same thing, but I was like, these two are siblings. Don't have them give each other. The more one and gave it that way, it was a little sticky. But yeah, I did the same.
Yeah. So I loved it right from the get go. I found it scary. I could see the power of it. I don't know about you guys, how you're feeling about it today. I still find AI a little scary. It doesn't really have too many guardrails around it yet. So who knows? Like. I worry about things like, do generals and army use it today, even for some of the things they try to do in the world? But that's not what this program is about. So we'll stay away from that.
Talk about a wormhole.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll escape that rabbit hole. One of the other things I wanted to ask you, a lot of people who have embraced AI, I think it really is about, at least from the outset, how to fix the things that slow you down in life, like things that can be done faster, and the little mini productivity wins you can have. So for me, like for example, I use it today to brainstorm, and I think a lot of people do. It really it becomes a partner in your brainstorming exercises. I don't know if you guys have any like creative ideas where you've used AI to help you with, small little productivity wins, like organizing your email. Maybe I know some people use it for that too. Are there some like time saving tips and wins you've had with use cases for yourselves or for your clients even?
What I've used it for, I've used it to try to help with content, but
Mhm.
I'm real careful that I want to make sure, and we keep talking about it, that it has to be personalized and has to be legitimate. So I'm real careful with that. But one of the things I use it for that really helps is I've developed a GPT, a couple of them. One helps me with social media posts, and it's more about scheduling and coming up with ideas. And I've learned, from when we first started that the more specific, obviously, the more information you put into it, the better you're going to get back out of it. But as far as developing a month-long social media calendar and concepts or ideas around particular industries or seasons or whatever really helps. And then from there, you can, kind of go into it and add your personalized information. I use it if you think about some of the things that you don't realize are AI, it's just Grammarly.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
spell check and things like that they're like, wait a second, but it is.
it is. It absolutely.
It's definitely AI, and so that helps writing emails and helps you get the content that you want and make sure that you are putting the right kind of spin on it or the right kind of information into it. So that helps there. That definitely helps with clients, and it helps with our own businesses
Yeah.
to do that. That's a couple that I've done.
Yeah, that's some good ones.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I would say, and I'm sure other business owners will probably appreciate this. So when I meet business owners all the time,
Mhm.
and one of the things that that they struggle with, especially as, most of them, number one is lead generation or how do I grow? But I'm also, I didn't start my own business to do sales. A lot of them, right, think that. And so some of the use cases, and Jim, I just wanted for context, you talked about GPTs. So let's pull that back just a little bit. What a GPT is
Mhm.
when we talk about AI, if what you're doing every time you're going into whatever, let's just say default is Chat GPT, right? Um, and and I like this one for this particular reason, but if every time you're saying, I need to write a blog about this, or I need to do whatever it is, the need that you need to do, if you're doing it repeatedly, you can actually program it. It's really simple using conversational language saying, I need to do this and I want you to write it this way. It needs to be this number of words. It needs to be, you're basically training it
Mhm.
to spit something out, your whatever the LLM model is that you want spit out, but it's used for something that you're doing repetitively.
Mhm.
And that's just a really good use case for that. So I just wanted to go back and say that that's what that is. So, but other people have also created some for you, depending on what it is that you're trying to do. And so getting back to the sales situation, um, a lot of times clients that you're talking to are very open to you saying, I'm going to record the meeting if that's okay with you.
Yep.
Mhm.
Inside of Zoom, you can record it and you can turn on the option to do transcripts if you want to within there, or you can do another one. My favorite is Phantom. I like it. I turn it on. The reason I like it is that it spits me back notes that are pretty concise over to the clients almost immediately, and a lot of them have it too. But what I use it for is several things. So I've created a GPT for myself to summarize any meeting, like who was in attendance, give me a synopsis of what happened in this meeting, what was it about, tell me who had action items and who's responsible, and the due date. Copy paste, send that to a client, and we're all good.
Mhm.
And so that's been a great use case. A second use case, same conversation. I will use that to just understand. I might use it to understand my client's voice. Like this is how they talk. So that if I'm writing a blog for them, I might just say to the chat, like when I'm talking to Jim, characterize Jim's personality. How does Jim answer questions? That kind of thing. So that when I'm writing for Jim, if Jim is pretty much, like I have an accountant who is very much the economist in his firm. Like he speaks very professionally. He would not use jargon. He is not like down home kind of that way. And it will tell me things that I might not have thought through. And the third one, back to the sales, is I will coach myself. Even though I, pride myself in being a good salesperson, what happens is I find a lot of times when I'm talking to clients, we're just in the moment and I'm not thinking about upselling or whatever. So I'll take a conversation that maybe that we had, or even if it's a new prospect, I'll take that conversation, run it through. And so there's a Sandler GPT. If you like Sandler, there are different other ones you can run it through, and it will say, oh, if this is the way you missed this opportunity, you could have gone here, you could have done that. I do that same thing for gap selling. What opportunities did I have to sell that maybe I missed out on? And so I'm just thinking, if you're a CRO even, and you're trying to coach people, but you just don't have the bandwidth, and you want to show your sales managers what you should be looking for, take one of their calls to a client for coaching and run it through and show them here are the opportunities that you missed, and let them learn. Right. Mm-hmm. That's the best way to do it. Cause you're like, oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. I mean, even me 20 some plus years into selling, they always come up with something I could have done differently.
That's way more effective than waking up in the middle of the night saying, oh, shoot.
Yeah.
I should have said this or whatever.
Right. Yeah, on that sales front, I mean, I don't have Kelly's background in sales and limited knowledge on that front. So I do use ChatGPT to help me with headlines, for example, on landing pages when you're trying to express a benefit, or what's the whole point of this landing page? What is it driving at? So headlines in general at the top, right by the hero image, or even for lead magnets. How am I going to promote this lead magnet? If you're a natural at sales, that phrase comes immediately. For me, I need to see 10 of them, and ChatGPT spits out as many as you want, and there's always a golden one in that list. So I still use it for that. Thank you for tuning in to Why Your Business is Invisible Online. If you enjoyed today's episode, please do us a favor and subscribe and follow us on Spotify and Apple. Be sure to share it with other business owners who might find it helpful. If you want to dig deeper, contact us at ruinvisibleonline.com. That's capital letter R, capital letter U, followed by invisibleonline.com. Or message us on our LinkedIn business profile with the same title, Are You Invisible Online? The information shared in this podcast is for educational purposes only and should not be considered professional advice. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and may or may not reflect the official policy or position of WSI Corporate. Always consult a qualified digital marketing expert before making significant changes to your online strategy. Until next time, keep connecting with the people who matter most to your business and join us for our next episode.